Every single leader, whether you're running a tiny startup or a massive corporation, faces the exact same problem. You've only got so much time and money. So where do you put your resources to get the biggest bang for your buck? Well, today we're going to unpack the modern playbook for exactly that. So let me just ask you, straight up, if you had $1 extra to put into your business right now, where would you spend it? Would you dump it into marketing? Maybe buy some new equipment? Or would you go after a competitor? That's a tough one, right? But it's probably the most important question you can ask. And here's the cool part. We don't actually have to guess. What if I told you that hundreds of senior executives have already answered that very question? They've spilled the beans on exactly where they think that dollar creates the most value. And here it is. This is the results of that survey. It's a ranking of where top leaders would spend more to create the most value. Now, at first glance, it just looks like a list. But trust me, if you look closer, this is a strategic roadmap for how to win in today's economy.
Okay, so let's break this down. We're going to start with the number one, the top dog, the overwhelming favorite. It turns out the most important piece of the puzzle is all about innovation. It's about investing in what's coming next.
64%. Just let that sink in for a second. That is a massive number. We're talking nearly 2 out of every 3 executives surveyed all pointed to the exact same area as the key to unlocking more value.
And that area? It's product development. The message here could not be clearer. Before you even think about marketing or sales or anything else, the absolute number one priority is to build a better product. The value starts right there.
Now here's what's really interesting when you dig in. Innovation really takes 2 forms here. First, you've got that huge 64% focused on making existing products even better. But right on its heels, at 53%, is the drive to fund totally new startups and ventures. It's a dual strategy, right? Perfect what you have, and at the same time, build what's next.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The best marketing is a great product. Everything else is just a megaphone. I mean, if your product isn't great, you're just paying to shout about something that's kind of mediocre. These execs are saying, let's get the product right first.
But how does all this innovation actually happen in the real world? Well, the data gives us a pretty clear answer for that too. The number 2 priority on the entire list, with 58% of leaders pushing for more spending, is IT. Technology isn't some boring cost center anymore. It's the engine that actually powers all this innovation.
Okay, so you've built an amazing tech-enabled product. What's next? Well, now you got to get it out there. So let's move on to the second part of this playbook, how you actually get that value into the hands of your customers.
When it comes to growth, it really boils down to 2 main paths. You can either build it yourself from the ground up, we call that organic growth, or you can buy it by acquiring other companies. That's inorganic growth. Build versus buy. And the data shows a really clear preference here, even if it's not a total blowout. 57% of leaders are putting their money into sales, marketing, and advertising. Those are the tools of organic growth. Compare that to 43% who are focused on acquisitions. It seems leaders would rather build their audience than just go out and buy one. They see more sustainable, long-term value in creating real customer relationships.
So, just so we're all on the same page, when we say organic growth, we're talking about the classic roll-up-your-sleeves kind of work, right? It's about finding customers, telling your story, and winning them over, one by one. It's about building from the inside out.
Inorganic growth, on the other hand, well, that's the shortcut. It's way faster for sure, but it's also usually a lot more complicated and expensive. You're basically buying a ready-made customer base. It's a powerful move, but it's clearly seen as a slightly lower priority for creating value right now.
All right, so we've looked at the big pieces of the puzzle: innovation, technology, and the 2 types of growth. Now, let's put it all together and see what this modern corporate playbook actually looks like in action. So let's look at that full chart again. But now, it's not just a random list of things to spend money on, is it? You can actually see the logic. And notice the thing at the very bottom, non-IT related expenditures. That's your basic foundational stuff. It's last because it maintains value, sure, but it doesn't create new value. And that's the name of the game.
So this is it. The entire strategy boils down to these 3 simple steps. Step 1, you create value by building an incredible product. Step 2, you enable that creation with powerful technology. And step 3, you capture that value by taking it to market through sales and smart acquisitions. Create, enable, capture. Simple as that.
So if you're going to remember anything from all this, let it be these key points. First, innovation is not optional. It's everything. Second, Technology is what makes it all possible. Third, when it comes to growth, building is generally preferred over buying. And finally, the whole point isn't just to keep the lights on, it's to create what's next.
What's so powerful about this is that it's not just a snapshot of right now. It's a blinking signpost pointing to the future. It shows this huge strategic shift toward things you can't touch: amazing products, brilliant ideas, and the tech that brings it all to life.
And that brings it all back home, back to that first question. Take a hard look at your own business, your own team. Is your money and your effort flowing toward creating, enabling, and capturing new value, or are you just stuck maintaining the way things are? This data gives you a perfect excuse to reevaluate where you're placing your bets.